be live streaming going forward now. From now on, every race, we will continue to upload the streams to the podcast places. So please tell your friends about us. Get your family involved. Formula One is the fastest growing sport in the world. There's about 100 million people just got through watching the Austrian Grand Prix. So have all your friends and family become part of it. Okay, David Williams, welcome to the Formula One News Hour.
Thank you.
How are you enjoying your time here in Austin, Texas?
Lovely. Yes,
Lovely.
Really good.
Yeah. Can you take just a couple of minutes? We're not going to go into a lot of details about your job, but if you can just generally describe what you do for the Williams racing team.
Yes, I'm here as a bodywork technician. Involves looking after the bodywork, making sure it all looks as nice and pretty as it should do, and dealing with any composite repairs that are required on it as well.
So when we see on TV somebody swapping out the nose cone and stuff like that, are you involved? Yep.
Yes, yeah,
you're the guy.
In that. Yes, we
Okay.
all have a hand in with the team on pit stops and anything else that's asked of us.
Okay, so you are born in the UK. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you were born, where you grew up, your school, and stuff like that before your Formula One career?
Yeah, I grew up in southwest Wales, a small town called Pembroke.
I've been there actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
But very south and very west, just before your feet get wet.
Yes.
And went through school and then went to university to study engineering. And then on from that went on to do a degree in design, in engineering design.
Okay, so are you a mechanical engineer or
mechanical
yes, engineer?
And then product engineer as well as an offshore.
We're very bright, intelligent people, mechanical engineers.
Yep.
I'm one too.
Oh,
yes. What's interesting is I've never done one day's mechanical engineering in my life. I got into software and stuff. So,
yep.
I think you went through does it still have the primary school, secondary modern, grammar schools, and all that kind of stuff? So you got GCE O level?
Yes, it's sort of junior comprehensive.
Oh, okay, so it changed a little bit since I was a kid.
And then into a college for 3 years I did, and then university for 1.
So when you think back to your childhood, what do you think it was that made you interested in Formula One or getting into Formula One racing? How did that walk us through David as a young kid going through school and then one day deciding, for me, I was a Formula One fan because I grew up close to Jim Clark and stuff like that. But how did David's journey go from primary comprehensive school through to joining Formula One?
Well, I've always had a big interest in engineering. My father's an engineer, electrical engineer, and he's also an ex-rally navigator.
Oh, okay.
So he did Monte Carlo, things like that. So we were always tinkering around with engines, stripping heads off, flapping valves in, changing out piston rings and so on and so forth, just with the family car.
Right.
And from that just sort of got very interested in making stuff with your hands, and then the composite side of things came from a love of kayaking. High-end kayaks are all composite construction,
Material,
being lightweight and strong and so forth. And so it was sort of an amalgamation of the two, really. To be interested in engineering, composites, you're going to end up somewhere involved in either aerospace, F1, or some sort of semblance of motorsport.
So the day comes and you say, I think I'd like to go into F1.
Yeah.
So how did that journey begin? How did you fill out a job application? Did you go knock on somebody's door? How did that happen?
We had a company start down with us in Pembroke, who were doing racing cars. So they had an investment from the Welsh Government and set up a workshop, and I applied for a job there. Coming from the composite side of life, that was sort of a natural step into that. And then it just went on from there, then getting involved in motorsport and aerospace, because they ended up developing an aerospace side of it. And then with the motorsport on the side, and then I sort of went off onto the motorsport section. I finished there, and I had a job opportunity out in Italy for Ferrari. So I spent 13 years in Ferrari.
How long?
13 years.
13 years?
Yes.
Doing pretty much the same thing that you're doing for
Pretty much the
Williams?
same thing, yeah,
So
yeah,
you've been involved with it a long time.
Yes, a long time. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Since I was probably 15 in composites.
So I'll ask you an off-the-cuff question, because I grew up on a farm, and so by the time I was 10, 12 years old, I could rebuild engines because we had no money. You had to fix it yourself, right?
Yes, of course.
So I was talking to Mario Andretti earlier this year, and back in Mario's days, Jackie Stewart, Jim Clark, most of those guys could take their cars apart, fix them, and then some of them would fix them and then get out, like Graham Hill would fix his car and then get out on the track. In fact, Graham Hill started as a mechanic. Mm-hmm. So today the drivers don't seem to have any of those skill sets. Do you think it would help your team if the drivers could give more feedback about their cars instead of just relying on the data coming back from the cars?
I think any driver should be giving as much back in feedback wise as they possibly can. It's at the end of the day they've got a personal viewpoint that the data can't tell you everything that's going on with that car. I don't think there's enough sensors in the world.
Right, and that was Mario said the same thing, because there was a few races ago, Max Verstappen lost a drive shaft, and he thought he'd lost his power plant. And in fact, Martin Brundle said when he was on TV, he says, "I don't think he's lost his engine. I think he's lost a drive shaft." Because Martin Brundle started in racing working in his dad's garage. His dad had a little car dealership, and he used to work on the cars and stuff. So yeah, I think that driver feedback is very important. So it's really interesting that today's driver really doesn't know that much about his car. So let's go back to you personally again now. So you do this 24 weeks out of the year in a different city, right?
Yes, yeah, approximately, yeah.
Yeah, in a previous life I was in petrochemical and refining, and I used to travel a lot as well. So tell us about your life when you're not here at the track and doing things. What do you do after you leave here?
Outside of work, enjoy sort of the quiet life, to be honest with you. Very much into fishing. Overnight, extended, across 2 or 3 days. I still enjoy my kayaking, so surf kayaking, which a group of friends will go out and we'll have a good old surf for half a day, something like that, and just chill out at the beach, locally back at home down in hopefully sunny southwest Wales.
Yeah. So here we've got in Texas and Austin as well. We've got good fishing. Good lakes for kayaking. Have you been down to Lady Bird Lake, down the lake downtown there, and rented a kayak there and spent some time down there? No, you should try it. It's very, very nice. You'll see them every weekend. You'll see the kayakers out there, and they have the single one, and then you've got the teams out there as well. So you should enjoy that. So I used to get asked this all the time. When you look at all the places that you've been, which is your favorite F1 city?
Oh, probably Mexico, to be honest
Mexico?
with you. Yeah, that's our next one.
Yeah.
And a very close second is Texas. I came here last year for the very first time, and enjoyed myself there. And I've enjoyed myself here this time round. Texas is always very good for us. It's just the people, the atmosphere, the city, Austin, the live music that you get to see. And obviously the American life, the Texan life, I suppose you could say. It's nice, it's good.
Well, I've been in Austin for 28 years, so obviously I enjoy it. So do you have a wife and family?
Yes, yeah, I have a girlfriend and a daughter.
Oh, so how do they feel about you? Because I was on the other end of that one. How do they feel about you traveling? And because you're gone essentially 25 weeks, maybe 26 weeks out the year?
Yeah. For me, a little bit less than that. But my girlfriend is very understanding. I met her through F1.
Oh, okay.
And she sort of understands the lifestyle that we lead, and we have to uphold it. At the end of the day, it's a job. And she gets that completely, and she's happy with me being away. Doesn't always happen that way, but I try and spend as much time with him as I possibly can.
And your baby, baby? You said baby girl, right?
Yes, baby girl's 7 years old now.
That's the babies they're always babies. Your parents look at you as their baby. I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
So how does she feel about Dad being gone a lot?
She's okay with it. Probably she enjoys seeing me on TV most. She's
okay.
My girlfriend will take a video of her. She's there pointing to me on the screen and shouting out "Daddy, Daddy" and all this sort of stuff.
Do you take her to the F1 race in the UK?
No, I don't. No. But maybe in the next couple of years,
As she gets a little older?
when she gets a little bit older,
When she'll remember it?
Yeah,
Because anything under 12 or
understanding
13,
it,
they don't
understanding it
remember.
a little bit more as well.
Yeah. So you said your dad was in navigating for rally cars. Is he still doing that?
No. He gave up, he gave up before I was born.
Oh, okay.
So I've got 2 older sisters, and he gave up shortly before my eldest sister was born because of the risk and such and such. He decided to get out of it. But he still loves watching motor racing on telly. He goes occasionally to the rallies, and he'll go and stand, spectate, go and stand on a corner, as it were, and just to view all the cars coming past.
Yeah, actually, where I grew up, they used to have the RAC rally come out through our little country roads.
Yes.
I grew up on a hill farm in northern England, and they'd have the rally cars come through. So your dad's probably my age, or maybe a little older, and so I might have seen him go by one day and not even know it. Gets to be a small world. Okay, so I'm a young kid, teenager, whatever, in the United States here, and I really want to get into Formula One. I want to be not a driver, but because there's so much going on behind the scenes. The world sees the drivers and the top guys, right? But they don't see guys like you and your teammates that put all these cars together. But there's a lot of guys that want to do that, want to be you. How would you tell them to start going about it? Right, they're living here in the United States. Formula One is all just about UK or Europe anyway.
Yes.
With the exception of the Haas team. I mean, it is all UK, and even the Haas team's headquartered in the UK. So how would you tell them, and what would be the best disciplines? So you're a mechanical engineer. What other types of engineers would be good, or disciplines would be good for Formula One?
Oh, for Formula One, probably so electrical engineers, system techs, as we sort of tend to refer to them as. You've got your aerodynamical engineering, your performance engineering as well. So the whole sport revolves around an engineering.
Yes,
obviously. That's the mainstay of it. There's also design as well, design engineering. And likewise for me, product engineering, so designing a system that's for a product, so that you see it from very start to the concept to the end of its life, to its being put to use, for it to be used.
And so so I'm living in Austin, Texas, and I've got this dream. I'm 16, 18 years old. How would I go about approaching an F1 team? Do they put on the website open positions, or do they do that? Or?
I don't know. You're probably best to go through an agency initially, just to get your foot into the door.
Okay.
And then, sorry, I've gone a bit blank now.
It's okay. Yeah, it's really when you're so far away from something and you want to get into something.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens by accident. I'm in the United States by accident. I never meant to come here, and it just happened. And I started a Formula One podcast. It's a part-time thing for me by accident. It was not something I planned. So when you start looking at, like, for driving, Danica Patrick, you're familiar with her?
Yeah.
She got a sponsor and they moved out of the UK, and she got into junior formula and stuff like that. But I was just wondering if you know of any organizations here in the United States that these young kids could get involved with, or is that something that needs to be fostered here? Do you think we need more American input into ingenuity into it, or do you think they'd have to move to the UK or somewhere over in Europe to get to be part of it?
I think America's big enough for there to be some room to take part in it. Definitely. I'm trying to think of. I don't know America. I don't know the systems in place with regard to the schools and stuff and the technology side of life. Your engineering. But there's got to be some sort of scope for some sort of initial sort of in order to garner some interest in the business, as it were, like in the industry.
Yeah, because as you know, over here NASCAR is big, right? Every weekend, 80,000 people gather, and and IndyCar is popular, but it's not as popular, say, as even Formula One.
No.
But if we had Formula One races every other week, then who knows? But I don't put IndyCar up there anywhere close to the popularity of NASCAR.
Yeah.
But anyway, David Williams, we really want to thank you for being on the Formula One News Hour today, and look forward to seeing you again next year, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Have a good day, guys.
You too. Thanks.
Enjoy the racing.